One of my favorite type of videos to make are the in-truck driving videos. There's just something very creatively freeing for me that the vast majority of my attention is focused on driving, and then just the words just seem to come out more clearly. I thought it might be interesting to give you a little behind the scenes glimpse into the work that goes into creating those videos. So the work to create these videos starts actually even before I leave the driveway. The first step is really thinking about topics that make sense for driving. Now, obviously, safety is paramount, both for myself and other drivers. So I don't like to do topics that are very complicated and I need a lot of thought, and I don't use any notes inside the vehicle. The delivery is all extemporaneous stream of consciousness. So I target topics that are very straightforward and simple. My equipment choices are also aimed at safety. The mount that holds the camera is actually in the middle of the windscreen, closer to the passenger side of the vehicle, so that my field of vision for driving is utterly unobstructed. Now, in the video, it may look like I'm looking at the camera, but the reality is I'm looking out at the road. For sound, I use the Rode Wireless Go 2 system. It's a great wireless microphone, produces great sound quality, but it also is aimed at safety. I don't want any wired lavalier mics or anything that plugs directly in the phone, and obviously I can't use earbuds while driving. So the Wireless Go 2 system is an excellent balance between sound quality and safety. From there, it's time to start thinking about recording. Before I even back out of the driveway, I set up all of the cameras that I use to record. I test the microphones. I make sure everything's wired and turned on. So literally all I have to do is pull over in a safe spot, hit the record button, start driving, and then start recording. Again, thinking of the balance between safety and quality of the video, I target recording on roads that are very long and straight, don't have a lot of complicated turns, and are typically very low traffic type situations. The other thing I think about is the quality of the road I'm on. If the road is very bumpy with a lot of potholes, that's going to create noise that you can hear later on, and it's not a very pleasant sound. So I think a lot about what roads am I traveling so that I can be as safe as possible while being able to record these videos. As I mentioned earlier, I don't use any scripts or notes inside the vehicle. All of what I'm presenting is just off the top of my head. What I really like to do is find a very long straight road, and I will oftentimes record 5, 6, maybe even 7 different videos at one time. This is great from the production standpoint because it allows me to get a lot of raw video, raw footage into my production queue that I can go back and edit at a much later date. Another benefit that I like from this technique is sometimes the videos don't really come out the way I want. Because I'm speaking extemporaneously, sometimes I nail it in one take, other times I listen back to it later on and that just wasn't really what I was trying to convey or say. But the great benefit of this is that then it acts as almost like a rough draft for later on. So I might actually edit the video 2-3 weeks later, realize that wasn't really that great, but then I can re-record it on the back porch in my office studio or what have you, and now I have kind of a launching pad. I can expand on that idea, I can bullet point out my notes, I can have a script in front of me. So those final videos that you see in my back porch or in the studio oftentimes started in the vehicle. They just weren't really a great take. As I said at the beginning of the video, there's something very creatively freeing where 99.9999999% of my attention is really focused on driving. This allows me to just sort of have the topic idea, kind of have it thought out in my head, and just send it. And I find that then I tend to be very direct and very succinct and I kind of get right to the point, as opposed to sometimes meandering around quite a bit and then I have to edit it down. The other thing I like about the in-vehicle videos is I like the scenery change, I like the movement, I like the activity. I find that enjoyable and visually interesting. Once I'm done recording the videos, frankly, it's just a matter of saving them, uploading them to my production queue on my computer. I come back later on with my video editing software, put the video together, slice out the parts that didn't really work, save the rough drafts for later and to put into a different folder, and the videos that I like then obviously ultimately get released and you'll see them on LinkedIn or YouTube. I hope you found this behind the scenes glimpse into the thought and energy that goes into making these videos to be kind of interesting, kind of different. I really do put a lot of time and energy and thought into how I can produce these videos in the safest way possible, but I do also really enjoy this format. If you don't enjoy the format, you find it too overstimulating or it's just not your cup of tea, totally fine, please scroll on by. I certainly make plenty of other types of videos. For those of you who did enjoy this, what'd you think? What surprised you most about the process? Leave me a comment down below.